We need Greenland for national security and even international security. You don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen.
What is the crisis for Mr. Trump? Why is so much concerns about Arctic? What is the reasons for the international and national securities? Why it is more much in stress at present for the global north for the Arctic issue? Why China and Russia relationship is giving more concerns for the new era of Cold War? The crisis on Arctic. Today's discussion is very much important when we are discussing about the global tariff controversy regarding the global south countries or somehow in the international diplomacy for India, Pakistan on the war scenario of Russia, Ukraine, on the somehow of the Iran oil conspiracy, somehow the Russian involvement for the global south countries. There is many more things to understand. There is many more controversial issue on regarding on the global north at present that is going on for Arctic. We all know the Arctic is the warming zone in the world, or it is the fastest warming zone in the world because the icebergs is already migrated. The big icebergs like A23A, A68 already migrated from Arctic, and the satellite images like some of our very concerning statement that why actually the migrated iceberg is going on. But the thing is that the political diplomacy and the countries of the superpowers thinking in the different parts, because this is the new routes of business for the Arctic. We all know that the Suez Canal is very much busy on the regarding of the business of the countries like global south to global north. But the thing is that when Arctic is very much in the controversy regarding of the top 8 countries, because this is border situated of top 8 countries starting from Russia, starting from the country like Greenland, starting from Finland, there is Sweden, there is also Canada, and also definitely United States of America. We all know this when the crisis happened in Russia-Ukraine war, some countries from the particular Arctic regions taking charge for the make a more bonding relations with the NATO country zones for more or better specific on the war zones or the war situations for their more strategical performance. But when we are actually not looking for the particular use of Arctic, that there is ice melting, the new sea routes is growing up. And why is Mr. Trump is very much is concerned? Because since 1987, when the Cold War was particularly on the offings of scenario, or the Soviet Russia declared was the time to stop the Cold War of the post-World War II scenario. Then the time Soviet Russia gave already placed in the Arctic zones regarding their war-free scenario, and also they maintain their particular armed zones or the placement of the armed forces at Arctic zones. It was a crucial place for the particular war placement in Arctic. But now almost near about, we know 38 years gone, is last year the one of the biggest drill happened in United States in Arctic regarding the arms deals, which was extremely crucial of the discussions of the relationships between United States, Russia, and also the China. Mr. Trump is already creating a consensus regarding the relationship of Russia and China. We all know that Russia has a particular border-centric ideology with the Arctic. So the Russian ships and the China ships already deployed their troops on the regarding on the basis of Arctic for the more balance it of their relationship, or the more maintain their future goals on the regarding on the Arctic scenario. But why is this Arctic is very important when we are discussing about this kinds of point? That the Arctic has a sources of natural gas and Arctic has sources of unpredictable oil, which is very much important regarding of the discussions for United States, Russia, and the China. Near about the when we are talking about the natural gas, the amount of natural gas is the percentage is around 30%, and the unpredictable oil, which is around 13%, which is very much important for the global South countries and also the global North countries to making more superpower activities for the world centric for the issue of regarding their business and the tariff goals on many more of the upcoming industrial development. Mr. Trump is already announced that he needs Greenland for the security and international security services. Already, they had their own air base in we all know in the at the northern area of Alaska, somehow in Greenland. But the thing is that the people of Greenland are making somehow they want freedom. They already announced that they don't want to be part of the United States regarding of the losing their independency. They want their freedom, but Mr. Trump already announced that for the security reasons, they need the Greenland for the international security or the national security base, which can monitor easily of the Russian or the China activities on a regular basis. We all know that the Russian and China, the air drills already makes some kind of more concerns regarding the issues. Somehow in the Alaska, we already saw that the particular air drills of the China air bases, China air forces, also the US air forces was very important. In spite of this, somehow in the targeting of the particular area of the world, that the ballistic missiles was in crucial roadmaps in the particular Arctic zones, because this is already counted of the scenario of the border of the 8 countries, which is very, very important regarding this issue. The unpredicted oil and gas, natural gas is very important for the upcoming days for the renewable energy sources and the maintaining the carbon credit, which is very much important. But the climate changes has creating more beneficiary for the superpowers from the Arctic at present, because Arctic's ice is melting very fast, and it is the world's most warming zone at present, and the new sea routes are finding by the superpowers, and they are getting more profitable if they use Arctic or the beneficiary for the upcoming days. And this is very important for the declarations of the particular thinking when USA is particular discussing on the press conference that they already see the China ships and the Russian ships in the Arctic. So this is somehow in the relationship between China and Russia, they already maintained in the from the Xi Jinping sides, from the Putin sides, that we are unending relationship and the bonding for the international diplomacy or the international relationship. So it may become in the better part on the huge power of the global south or to global north, or maybe versus of the global south to global north regarding the Arctic issue, or maybe the somehow it's already started in the Cold War situations to getting who will actually get benefited from Arctic and who will be actually beneficiary from Arctic. This is very much important at present on the discussions. But somehow in the mapping scenario, when we're talking about the countries who is actually belongs to Arctic, somehow China is not actually connected with Arctic directly. So China has almost 1,500 kilometers ahead of Arctic zones. So for this maintaining of Arctic balance, China needs extreme bonding or the relationship with Russia, which they are already formed, and the relationship is going on. And somehow from the Russia-China relationship is creating pressure from US diplomacy regarding of the international security on the national security zones, which they are already saying we are in particular concerns about international national securities. And there are ships and troops at the Arctic zones. There should be a bigger perspective on the world scenario, on the Cold War's perspective, on the base of climate change impact for the US, for the China, for the Russia, and for the upcoming developing countries, which is very much important. So, in spite of discussions of the international diplomacy on the basis of climate change, that we have particular resources in Arctic. So this is the time to discussions in COP30 in Belém, Brazil. There should be a particularly factor or the team source on regarding of the making a particular reserve of the natural gas and reserve for the oil, which is unpredictable. Because we all know the easy smuggling of from natural gas from exporting from Arctic is very easy to use, and this is superpowers is following up for the natural gas resources. So the Brazil's COP30 should be maintaining a proper plan regarding the maintain of the sources of Arctic and also the global north issues, the Greenland, the Finland, somehow in the area of the, we all know the Alaska, and somehow in the particular areas of the lands of particular developing countries who still now in fighting for their own independence regarding the climate change issues, as climate migrations is increasing in these kinds of areas, because already is changing scenario from the agriculture impact, from the economical impact, because ice is melting very fast, and this is a crisis for the particular global north at this time on the regarding of the Arctic zones, for the people, for the biodiversity, for the animals. So this is the time to maintain a proper plan to store the resources, and this should be a global diplomacy regarding of the natural resources, regarding maintaining of natural resources, without promoting of the diplomacy of the relationship from the superpowers, from the powerful war zones or the Cold War scenario, or maybe the unusual drills of armed forces, air forces, navy. So this is a time of when we're talking about the climate change impact. So we have to protect the Arctic zone. This is very much important. Because the sea routes in the summer is always open for the different perspective for the superpowers. So we need to protect on the summers from the Arctic resources, and there should be a climate change impact in the particular issue on the Arctic, on the regarding on the particular issue on resources of the natural gas and the energy sources and the oil, which will be very beneficiary for the upcoming days. So this is the discussions which I have started regarding on the Mr. Trump's discussions regarding that he need the Greenland, which is for national and international security basis. But there is also, we all know that there is a part of climate change, and Arctic is very much in the crisis because it's warming and the icebergs is melting and migrating. So this is the new way of business is going on with the global south and global north superpowers. New ways of sea routes is going up. And this is the time of discussion. What should be the plan to save Arctic, to save the common mass, to save the independency, to save the particular resources of Arctic? Thank you.